Hi guys, Nox here. Here we are again on Earthquake 3D, just doing another earthquake update on the 2nd of October 2012. This is to follow on from my previous update that we did. I did promise we'd get another one out, and there's been quite a lot of activity. So let's have a look at over the last 7 days. Go back to the 6 magnitude earthquake and above, and let's see what we've got. Right, last time I did an update, we'd had this California 6.2, Baja, the 6.4 in the Aleutian Islands, the 6.0 down here in the Solomons, and I also said that I was expecting more activity either down here, Tonga, on the west side of the Pacific Plate, or over on the east side of the Pacific, down the west coast of America and South America. Basically another big quake somewhere on this area, and boy did we get one. We got a 7.3 in Colombia. If you follow my Facebook group and indeed my website, Anunnaki, Alien Gods and Spirituality, on there you will know that I listed an update for a quake that I expected to happen in Peru on the 30th of September 1835. That is listed, you can go and verify that. I put that on the page, and boy we got one. We got 7.3 on the 30th of September 1635, just 2 hours out, and it was just north of Peru in Colombia in the end. But the USGS actually did initially list this earthquake off the north shore of Peru. Such a deep earthquake, it was about 130 miles deep, and I suppose when an earthquake is that deep, actually finding its actual epicenter on the surface of the Earth probably does involve a little bit of guesswork between the seismometers. But anyway, it's listed as a Colombia earthquake, not a Peru earthquake, but you can go and verify all that information. I use the cycle of 188 and various other means to predict that earthquake. I will be doing more in the future, so keep your eyes on that. The cycle of 188 is still effective. We're still in the cycle of 188 until the 12th or 13th of October, I think. You can check that out as well. All the videos are posted on the website. If you don't know what the cycle of 188 is, it's all on the website. You start with the first video. It goes into quite a bit of sacred geometry, but it's really interesting, and go watch it, make your own mind up, see what you think. Anyway, after the 7.3 Colombia, I also posted in the Facebook group that I thought there would then be more activity on the other side of the Pacific Plate, into Asia, China, Japan, going over into Europe, Turkey specifically, and since then we've had a 6.2 pop off on the northeast coast of Honshu in Japan, as I said, and we have had quite a lot of activity. Let's just have a look at the rest of the activity from 0 magnitude upwards in the world, but in those areas that I was saying, specifically Turkey and Asia, you can see there's been an awful lot of 4s and 5s popping off. I'm expecting a big quake, maybe a 6 plus in this area sometime soon. It's got to be the next area, because this plate puts pressure onto the Eurasian plate, and all the other plates associated, the tectonic plates associated. We're going to start getting earthquakes popping off, and you can see that's what's happening. Here we go. Oh, look at all these 4s. But there's a 4.8 just popped off in India, but all these 4s, the high 4s, low 4s, quite a lot of activity in Asia there. Going up into Europe, going up towards Turkey. This is Turkey. Lots of 4s, high 4s popping up in Turkey. Let's just, this is interesting one. A 4.5 popped off in Tanzania. There's a swarm of earthquakes in the Caribbean that we were talking about, the Virgin Islands. They're still very active. Excuse me. So as you can see, we've still got a lot of activity going on. We're still having California popping off. We had a 4.1, I think it was, just a little bit early on today in California. And we've really got to keep our eyes open, and certainly until the cycle ends in the 13th of October. I still think there is a strong possibility of another large quake going off. Just look at this, all these swarms. That's the Caribbean, that was the big one in Colombia. This is California. It's absolutely ramping up. You can see all the earthquakes there for yourself. Anyway, let's just go across to the European agency. There isn't an awful lot of data sharing between the USGS, the American agency, and the European site, so let's just go over there and have a look. What we can see from the European site. So here we are on the EMSC. Here's a 2D view. As I was saying, I've just got Turkey and Greece highlighted. You can see all the red rings. They're all earthquakes that have popped off recently in Turkey, so you can see that's quite active. Let's just scroll out of it and have a look at the rest of the world. We can see the largest quakes here popping off into Asia. That one's southern Jiangxing, China. That one in Russia. I had a 3.8 in Iceland. And when you'll get to know that I like Iceland. There's been a sense of quite a lot of things that's happening with earthquakes because the Mid-Atlantic ridge cuts right through the country, cuts it in half. Not to mention the sheer number of volcanoes down there. Katla being amongst the most ferocious ones. We've got to watch for that. But the Mid-Atlantic ridge does lead to an awful lot of activity, both east and west. You can see this line of earthquakes here, going down from the Canary Islands, up into Europe, into Poland, northern Italy. So you can see there's quite a lot of activity there. Let's have a look at the other EMSC page. There we go. The other thing I mentioned, I know you couldn't hear me very well, and I only sort of intimated with a cursor. But the other thing I've noticed is the number of earthquakes that seem to go off that are just 10 kilometers deep. For example, the one in Japan just last night, 10 kilometers deep, 6.1 magnitude. Okay, that was a really deep. Oh, it was 149 kilometers deep, so it was a really deep earthquake. It's probably just as well because the deeper the earthquake, the less surface damage it tends to be. The shallower the quake, the more surface damage there can be. The more chance of tsunamis occurring and such things. But there you go, look, Solomon Island 6.0, 27th of September, 10 kilometers deep. 6.4 in the Aleutian Islands, 10 kilometers deep, that was on 26th of September. 10 kilometers deep, 6.3. I mean, this is really interesting stuff. This, I've no doubt, is something to do with the cycle of 188. I have not exactly pinned it down yet as to what or why the depth of 10 kilometers persistently comes about. There's another one, 5.0 on the 21st of September, 10 kilometers deep. Tonga 5.5 on the 24th September, 10 kilometers deep. So you can see some of the fairly sizable quakes we get. There seem to be quite a few at 10 kilometers deep. And I've also noticed, going back, that sometimes you can get multiple earthquakes that you get, say 2 and 3 at a time. 6.1, 6.2, 6.3 is all going off at the same time in the same location. They all tend to be 10 kilometers deep. So there's something about this 10 kilometers that we need to look into, guys. I just wonder if does anybody have any more information on that? Maybe a geologist or a seismologist having a look at this, and he could give more information on that, or she, of course. Anyway, that's food for thought. Let's have a quick look at the British Isles. Because the British Isles are an agency all on their own. They don't do any anybody else. So. I can get them up, that is. Doesn't seem to be working. Can't find the earthquake link on this for some reason. Never mind. Next time I do an earthquake update, I will do the British one first. So anyway, really that's just about everything I've got to say for now on the latest earthquake update. And just to reiterate, just watch for the areas I've said, there being another large quake. So just in summary, Europe probably due a largish one, 5 to 6 plus. Indonesia, Asia, specifically India, China now, Carlsberg Ridge down here going in towards Africa. We could see a 6.0 or above popping off down there. Tonga, of course, down here, still active. The whole Indonesian area is always very active. The number of volcanoes down there makes that hugely active anyway. And again, you can't discount the Ring of Fire, that is always active. So keep your eyes open for a big earthquake down there. And again, California, that doesn't seem to be settling down. There's spores popping off down there on a regular basis now since we had the 6 plus a few days ago. So guys, watch that coast of California, west coast of America into Alaska for any more big earthquakes. Okay, that's me done, guys. All I can say is just stay safe. Have a plan together if you're in an earthquake affected area. Have an emergency plan should you need one. Eyes open, knocks out.